All right, I'm gonna tell you guys about another deployment story. But before I get into it, hit that subscribe and hit that like button. So in Iraq, besides doing an administrative job, which later became like admin became just like a collateral duty. But I took over as the program linguistics program manager for our unit. But later on, some people at the embassy came over and like wanted me to become like the linguistic program manager of the whole country. So yeah, things picked up at that point where I'm moving different terps like all around the whole country. It was crazy. I was getting people, phone calls from people like from Canada. We had like there was a Canadian unit up north, calling me, hey, we need a terp here. I'm like looking things up. All right, we got a unit here. I'll get him a call, work something out. All right, and then get y'all in contact. But a lot of the times, so a lot of the interpreters we have from the States, which if anybody knows, like Michigan, like Dearborn, Michigan has a huge population. So a lot of those interpreters are from like the Michigan, that area. So during that my time there, we had one uh, interpreter. Everybody, said he was a little off, and nobody really wanted to mess with him. So, we started getting the influx, like we had a shortage of interpreters. So we started getting an influx of interpreters at one point. So he didn't have a roommate. So we had no choice but to put somebody in there. And even the guy that was in the room was complaining about how he kept the room and he had all this like these little paper mache things, whatever what you want to call it, all over the room for whatever reason. Like before this even happened, like he would come to the office always and just try to talk for like hours, man. I'm like, I'm trying to work, and he would never be dressed up. So one day, um, the unit he was with either Spain or France. That was the unit he was connected to, either a Spanish or a French unit. So they had some big meeting, and my man, they said he showed up in like jean shorts and like flip flops, and they had told him previously like that this was a big meeting. So I guess at that point they came and said they no longer wanted the guy. They wanted somebody else because I guess this wasn't the first incident. So my job isn't to like I'm not HR for them. I don't fire, hire, or tell them how to dress. My thing was to move them here and move them there. If I had, if they needed a ticket to go to another area to fly out, I would have to talk to these the civilian company. They had like a rep there who that was the people hiring them. So they were like their HR. So when I told like the guy there, he was like, man, so I don't know what to do this guy. We getting all these complaints. And he's like, I just don't know what to do. So I had this idea. I'm like, I got the perfect idea. So we had this outpost. Uh so we'll just say I forget how to pronounce it, but TQ is what we call it. So TQ got shut down after it got bombed while I was there. They shut it down because there was a lot of issues with there was an interpreter that got arrested up there. But they shut it down. So they were starting to open it back up, right? The talks was right when this happened. They were talking about opening it. So I'm like, why don't we just send them up there? The guy looked at me, it's like, it's a good idea. But then I was like, what if he don't go? He's like, I'll fire him. I was like, okay, that's that's fine with me. But he's an issue. So that was the plan. So he set everything up, told dude he wanted to talk with him. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. They had a meeting. They're supposed to have a meeting like in the next day or two. So he reached out to me. He's like, hey man, I'm gonna need you to sit on this meeting because you know this whatever people everybody's saying, and me and him don't really get along. I'm like, okay, I can sit on, not a problem. So so we're sitting there, waiting for him to come in. He comes in dressed. like I said, he comes in. So the guy tells him, like, look, man, you've been a problem. They don't want to work with you no more. Um, you come in dressed for, really big meetings, flip-flops, shorts, and people were saying how you're hard to work with, and even like nobody wants to live with you. You're difficult just to, to be around. He's like, so we decided the best thing for you is to send you up to TQ. You can have fresh start. You'll be there about, you won't have nobody, really bothering you. You'll be with this unit when everything stands up. My man immediately said, I ain't going nowhere. He said, I'll quit before I go there. So so the guy working that was working for the civilian company says, nah, don't quit, just resign. He was like, well, give me some paper. I'll resign right now. He's like, they're looking for paper, and all they see, he's like, there's a sticky note. So the Iraqi guy's like, I see that sticky note. Went and grabbed a sticky note, said, give me a pen. The man wrote on a little sticky note, I resign. So, in prior to him like resigning on a little sticky note, like, I'm just sitting back. They get into like a real heated argument where like my man started approaching him. That's when I stepped in. I'm like, look, man, we're not gonna have that right now. This is not personal, like, because he was trying to take it and make it to be personal, but it had nothing to do with being personal at that point. You know, there's, there's an operation, the things that need to happen, and he was hindering operations. So my man, he had to go. We had to get rid of the guy. So, like I said, he did his little resignation on a sticky note. So we just copied it and told him to sign on the piece of paper that we copied it on, and then we went from there. But during the argument, like I said, they were arguing, and he was like, Humbles, he's a nice guy. I can get along with. It's you. You're the problem. Like he blaming the other guy. Like so, I guess they had dealings with prior. Maybe other deployments or whatever. So that went down like that. My man resigned on a sticky note from Iraq.